Hello family, welcome to my channel, Juno and Carnal, where we sit down to expose the lies, tactics, and devices of the enemy, as well as revealing the good news and the glory of the Lord Yahweh. In today's video, I'd like to dive into the topic of spiritual and supernatural living as opposed to carnal and natural living. So there's three to four scriptures I'd like to tie to each other that supports the topic of the video. The first one being Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. It states, God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. So the next scripture I'd like to tackle is Genesis chapter 3, verse 4. The name of the chapter is The Fall of Man. This is exactly what we're going to be diving into in this video. It states, you will not surely die, the serpent said to the woman, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. So the next scripture I'd like to tackle is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. I'm going to tackle a couple actually because as you can see, the name of the chapter actually coincides with the name of Genesis chapter 3, the fall of man, and you have the resurrection body. So verse 40 states, there are also heavenly bodies and there are earthly bodies, but the splendor of the heavenly bodies is one kind and the splendor of the earthly bodies is another. Now if we jump to verse 42, it says, so will it be with the resurrection of the dead. The body that is sown is perishable, it is raised imperishable. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. Continuing, if there is a natural body, there is also a spiritual body. So it is written, the first man, Adam, became a living being. The last Adam, a life-giving spirit. The spiritual did not come first, but the natural. And after that, the spiritual. The first man was of dust of the earth, the second man from heaven. As was the earthly man, so are those who are of the earth. And as is the man from heaven, so also are those who are in heaven, of heaven. And just as we have borne the likeness of the earthly man, so shall we bear the likeness of the man from heaven. So I want to start from Genesis, where it states God created both man and woman in his image. The fall wasn't first. God already knew what he had planned for man when he created it. They were good already. There was no need for a resurrection body. They were already there. What happened was they've been deceived by the devil. They've been deceived by the serpent to enter into a fallen lower dimension, the dimension that a lot of us think is normal life, right? This dimension consists of the 7 principalities, things such as lust, greed, wrath, gluttony, so on. Now, if you look around in this world, what do you see? You see those principalities being played out. Why is that? Because we're in a fallen world right now. Now in Corinthians, when it mentions the first Adam and the second Adam, the first Adam is literally Adam. The second Adam is Jesus Christ. When he went on the cross, it's through him that we get access to the realm that God had already gave us before we fell. So basically, you have 2 worlds living in one planet right now. Basically, you have those that are in the lower realms, still operating out of the fallen nature, and you have those that are operating out of the resurrected nature, the imperishable nature. This is important because you need to make sure you're not being influenced by the lower realm, because they take heed to spiritual matters, even though it's more so a carnal realm, because magicians, witches, and wizards have been around since, Moses and Jesus times. Even though it's a darkness realm, it has heavenly aspects to it because all of this is spiritual. But they want you to operate out of your lower nature so you're not connected to the realm you came from, your father. I like to make an example. So say, and I fell victim to it too, so don't think I'm calling anyone out. Say there's a song going around, right? And it's clearly, it's clearly, it carries degenerate vibes to it, I'm saying? Listening to it is not gonna have you in a positive mindset, basically, right? But it has views, it has traction. The world is attracted to that. song, or anything, bro. You decide to get attracted to it, not initially because of what the actual thing is. You've been influenced by the world. You're influenced by the world. It's not your own likes and interest that's pulling you towards it's not nothing spiritual that's pulling you there. It's the world. It's the carnal world that has you doing something that your spirit is not even in cahoots with. So take notice, Adam and Eve, they didn't know anything about no death. They didn't know anything about fearing that something's gonna happen to them, losing what they have. All they knew was dominion and create. Satan came and introduced all that to them by forcing them to do something that would disobey the only law that God gave them. Why? Because he knew what would come after it. So he's telling them, you're gonna know everything. He's not telling them they're gonna have to live out everything they're aware of now because they've fallen. They're not protected. The oil is gone now. He's just telling them, you're gonna know what he knows. You're good. He can know that because he's God. He can know that. He's above all this. You decide to go down there. Now look where we're at. You know what I'm saying? Look where we're at. Look around. So when you see great disdain or great discomfort, whenever like the name Jesus is brought up, is because they know that's the only way that you can rise above everything that's going on out here. That's why so much hate towards it. It's the key. Damn, this person won't be a victim. You know, this person won't be we won't be able to do anything with them. And they might go ahead and try to tell other people. You know? So watch out for the ones that's telling you some, you know, you're either like, you know, say schizophrenic or no, you're in the spirit, bro. You're in the spirit. You're where God intended you to be this whole time. He didn't intend for you to have, you know, rules and things put on you for you to follow blindly. He wants you to be in the spirit like he is, so you can carry out your thing officially without, you know, not getting it done. How can you get it done if this world is completely bombarding you all the time, bro? You're not going to be able to get it done. It's not going to happen.